and I'm back. Yeah, I'm lost. And we're live. Hello, everybody. All right.
Good
Rock
evening,
and
ladies
or
gents.
roll.
Well, I can't have rolls anymore, so I'll take the rock.
Oh, that's right. You're like Mr. You can't do nothing no more.
I'm finding loopholes.
Finding loopholes?
I'm finding the loopholes.
That works for me. All right, we are live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on your book, my book, everyone's book.
I can't read or write.
You can't read or write?
Yeah, so books are pointless. So it can't be on my book.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
I've been lying to everyone this whole time.
Well, you do work in finance. You don't really need to read. You just need to know how to add. Or subtract if you're doing accounts payable.
For the apricot. Nope.
So, all right, let's, oh, shoot, this is set up. I got to set the privacy to this to be public so that people can see it.
Yeah, because we want people to see us embarrass ourselves on the internet. That's how it works. So did you play the FNM at home past weekend?
No, I had no time.
It was interesting. It was I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a 5-color format.
Well, don't just save this for the show, man. We're doing the beginning. We haven't started the show yet.
I'm just chatting. Doesn't mean it can't still be in the show.
All right. Well, you know. All right. Do you have your recording stuff up? Oh, I closed mine.
Yes, I do.
I closed mine because we were having that recording problem. I got to remember to start OBS before I do Zoom. So
we're actually lucky to be on today. Zoom was down for most of the U.S. for today.
Yeah, believe me, I was thinking about that. Going, I wonder if our old host still works.
No, be live.
Well then, alrighty. So we're good there. I'll take sound check again on the sound there. Yep, that's going through my recorder.
I heard it.
Okay. So we should be good to go. My recorder's up and running. Docs are open. Phalanges are phalangeling.
I got the Discord open.
You got the Discord. Yeah, that's it too. Yeah, let me, because we got lots of people in our Discord now.
See that? We've got 14 folks online right now.
Boy, making them have to join the Discord to join the tournament. Starting to think I'm kind of a genius.
Yeah, see if we had over 50 people in the community. It's very nice. It's very nice. To everyone listening now who's already here, thank you a bunch.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I can't wait for Wednesday already. It's becoming the highlight of my week.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's another regular one this week, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be just a regular one.
Yeah.
We'll let Steve smack us around a little bit more before I go back to Atraxa. All right.
Yeah, because it works out for you so well when you do.
Hey, you know what? I've won twice with Atraxa. So say what you will, man.
Hey, I got my my Rebel and Riches win.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I was not expecting that to be gift wrapped for me the way that it was.
Oh,
so
it was
I'll
a beautiful
take it.
thing. All right. Well, we'll talk about that in Untap. So, all right,
Yep.
let's get this show on the road here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got to be honest. I've said that wrong for so many years on purpose. I'm like, let's get the road on the show, that I forget which the order is now. It's kind of like that Helen Keller and Frank thing. I have no idea which is which.
Yes, you do.
I really believe that Helen Keller was the kid stuck in the attic.
I heard your wife correct you already.
That was kissing her brother, apparently. Oh, wait, no, that was Flowers in the Attic. That's just a completely different book. Wow, I took Anne Frank and put it with childhood incest. This is great. Wow, we're going to be a great show tonight.
And we've just lost half our friends.
All right. All right, let's get this thing going here. All right. So you ready?
Yep.
All right. Red button?
Red button. Yum.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click.
Click.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers podcast, the show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, hey, Rags to Riches is a beautiful thing, or Rebels to Riches, whatever the hell he played, co-host Aramis Perez. Aramis, how the hell are you, sir?
It was gift wrapped to me. I didn't ask for it, but by God, I'll take it.
Oh, you were very happy to have it.
Oh,
sir.
I was happier than a pig poop.
Yeah, in fact, let's go ahead and get into... All right, first thing we want to talk about tonight. Actually, I'm going to go off script here. No, we'll go. First thing we want to talk about is our sponsorship. I want to remind everyone that this episode of PlanesTalkers podcast is sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys. With their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge, Kerwin's provides a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike, with locations in Catskill, New York, and now on the second floor of the Poughkeepsie Galleria in Poughkeepsie, New York. Kerwin's Game Store is the best place in gaming. Now, they do have a great website you can go to. It's located online at KGS Online. That's Kite Go Samantha Online.com. And don't forget, you get 5% off, including your pre-order of Zendikar Rising, any online order when you use the promo code PlanesTalkers2020 at checkout. We also want to take a second to recognize our highest level patrons, our Planeswalker patrons. Matt, Johnny, Bell, Anthony, Steve, Ian, Walter, George, Josh, Jonathan, and Zach, and our brand newest Planeswalker level patron, Dave. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much for coming alongside us. We really appreciate you guys. You know that. They have a lot of extra bonus content. I make a second podcast that I do just on my ride home, like once or twice a week. We're working on some of the ancillary stuff. You get first dibs on Commander Craft. You get first dibs on our winner boxes and all sorts of other stuff. To find out what you can get, go to patreon.com/planestalkers. And real quick before we begin, I do want to start tonight off and just say I'm dedicating this show tonight to a friend of mine we lost this week to cancer. Jeff Thomas I've known since 1994, and we lost him Saturday night. So, I mean, you know, he's just one of my best friends, and I run my own content. So I just want to say this is dedicated to you, buddy. We miss you. So thanks. So, Aramis, how the hell are you?
Well, jeez, I can't follow that up or anything.
I sucked the air right out of the show, folks.
You did. I can't even say anything. Wow.
Which he loves, by the way, that I sucked the air right out of it. He was a goofy. Oh man, he was the coolest guy ever. But how you been?
Yeah, I was good. No, you know, everything's going pretty well. You know, we're keeping on here at the Perez household with the pandemic and all this nonsense.
Hey, ZT.
Played some, you know, arena over the weekend. Got a couple games in. Was really happy with the way Commander Craft went last week. I'm super.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I'm gonna milk that. Come on. Because I figured I was like, if you guys didn't watch last week, Steven, who wins like all the time.
Because he's got like a card pool that, you know,
he's got the entire card.
We had. He's got everything. Yeah. He's got literally every card ever.
He has every card ever. Steve, we love you.
Yes. Please don't quit.
He was basically going to win the next turn. He had like some massive board out. I was playing my little Tribal Pirates Admiral Beckett Brass deck, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Maybe this will take me out of the game before he can kill me, or he'll just kill me. So I played Revel in Riches. And for those of you who don't know what it does, it's an enchantment. Whenever an opponent's creature dies, I get a treasure token. And at the beginning of my upkeep, if I have 10 treasures, I win the game. So I'm like, all right, whatever. If I
there's
happen
three
to survive,
people playing, right?
Yeah, there's 3 people left, and one person is very far in the lead. So I'm figuring, whatever, I'll just play it just to play it. What's going to happen? And then Anthony goes and plays Kaya's Wrath, where
he wipes the board for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, he had a creature. John had a creature, and then Steve had 8 creatures, and I was like, oh my god, that's 10 treasures. And then Steve tried to kill me. He was 2 points off because he did the math wrong.
No, he just knew he couldn't do it. Yeah,
he could have actually. He could have given haste to his one guy that came into play, and he didn't do it.
Oh, that's right.
He could have abandoned him. Like there were 2 different things he could have done to do enough damage, and he forgot to add that little bit of extra math in and do that extra attack. And I was like, oh crap, I won. So I'm gonna take it because it was a complete damage.
Yeah, Commander Craft was I gotta tell you, I'm really beginning to think I did something to Anthony. Both times that dude played that damn enchantment, he put it on me. I'm like, what the bloody blue hell, man?
Because you stab people in the back.
I don't stab anybody. I was playing friendly this time. Listen, my cat dog deck doesn't let me stab anybody in the back. It's
you're the
pretty
one that runs around to one side and goes, hey, this guy's plotting against you. Then
yeah, well, that's legal. That's called playing the room.
And then the room steps on your head.
Yes, and then the room steps on my head. Well, you know, it's a beautiful thing. But and we are still in Untap. I completely forgot to untap. So this week we have a brand new one. It's called Quabe. It's an India Pale Ale, so it's IPA, from Kona Brewing Company. And we got them because we went out and saw some friends of ours last weekend, and this was one of the beers I got because I like to try new beers, especially when I'm seeing friends. So we'll see how this goes. This could end horribly. Not like as in dude. It's a 6 point. You're fine.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Oh. Okay, that's surprisingly refreshing. It's very hoppy. It does. Oh wow. Oh, it's got a bite on the back end though. Oh dear. Wow. Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's hop. It's got a nice flavor in the front, but then the back end has got this bitter hop that just. Oh well, that's just it. It's like got a wave on it, so it's literally like the wave came crashing back in on you. So
yeah, you're talking beer. That's all great too.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, what are you gonna do?
I have no idea with any of that stuff you just said.
So yeah, like we had a weekend. We lost our friend. Wendy and I both knew him from college, and Wendy was far tighter with him than I was. So I pretty much spent all day Saturday and Sunday just kind of playing the dutiful husband and making sure she's okay and stuff like that. But I got a few games in. I'm enjoying playing Historic Red again because I love Hazoret. I've always loved Hazoret. I'll always love Hazoret. The fact that I can play Hazoret again is kind of like, yay. And Earthshaker Kenra and the On-Crop Crasher, I'm literally like, this is kind of great. And Ramanop Ruins is legal.
That mono red deck with Amonkhet is something else, and Hazoret's a hell of a card.
Hazoret's a hell of a card. Hey, Miguel, good to see you, buddy. I think Miguel's playing in our tournament. So, yeah, we only had 16 people this morning. We're full up. The historic tournament is ready. So, we're waiting on deck lists, and it's going to fire this week. So,
they released the teaser, like the teaser of the trailer. So I watched it, and I was like, that didn't really tell us anything, but that is Nahiri, I believe, that is talking.
Yeah, the trailer's next Tuesday, so which I assume means spoiler or preview season starts next week. So
Monday, yep. Rosewater talked about it in his article today.
Rosewater.
We're gonna find out all the goodies that are in this set. I can't wait.
Yeah. Let's go.
Rotation's coming.
Without fetch lands, why are we in Zendikar?
Well,
we'll talk about this. This is state of standard.
We'll talk about that.
Let's put a pin in that. So, and that brings us to our upkeep phase, where we like to tell you what we're doing tonight. So, tonight's show, again, it's kind of a light one. Which every time I've ever said that at the start of a show, it turns into one of the heavier ones. So, hey, fingers crossed.
Heavy for a different reason.
Yeah. Well. Honey, bring me that triple IPA. No.
God, no. Not that heavy.
So tonight's State of Standard, we're going to talk about what's happening in Standard and how nothing is happening. And then we don't really have a combat phase as yet. You never know. We might fall into one. Main 2, we're going to talk about the historic banning that came out today. We're going to talk about the Winnet Box, historic artisan, go over a few of the decks I've got sent in. I won't give names yet because people are still putting their decks together, but, this is kind of some good stuff. And, we'll bird's eye view. I'm not going to give other people they'll be like, oh, I should come loaded for blank.
3 of these.
Yes. Yeah, no. But we'll give it a little bit of a bird's eye. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Commander stuff that was released this weekend. They did give us some information about the Commander. What are they calling this again? And
there's two products coming out. There's Commander Collection Green, which is like a spell book.
Right, it's a signature spell book for Commander.
It's 8 cards, and we know what all of those 8 cards are, and most of them are pretty damn good. And then
the other one's like the Commander draft set.
Commander Legends, yeah. It's a draftable Commander set. They explained how all that's going to work. There's some good stuff in there, too. So
how the hell do you draft Commander, though?
They talked about it. There's a way to do it.
All right. So we'll talk about that.
This is basically what this whole set is about. So
and, I mean, we do Standard, but since we play, Commander on Wednesdays, we could talk a little Commander. So, and again, my God, people, think about it. Standard right now, it's literally... It's a little bit, yeah. So well, you know what? Without further ado, let's get into the main phase. So, main phase. Usually in main 1, we like to talk about the state of Standard. So let's talk about that. Now, we haven't had any big events this past weekend, did we?
Well, again, there was another SCG qualifier, another Red Bull International qualifier. Those are basically the big tournaments right now.
Right. We did have some.
There were 1,100 people that signed up for the Red Bull one, so it's a big tournament.
Right.
And we might as well, until rotation at least, change the name of State of Standard to State of Sultai, because it was Sultai again. Now, it didn't win the tournament.
And that's just it. It's like it's showing up. It's Anna Kournikova. It looks great, never wins.
It's flat consistency.
Yes.
It's super consistent.
Yeah.
It was 5 out of the top 8 at the Star City Games. It was 5 out of the top 8 at the Red Bull International one.
Yeah, but it came in second, so it was in the finals of the Red Bull. I see that.
Yeah, and it lost to Rakdos Aggro, which was an undefeated deck, which is kind of cool. It's always nice to. It's so hard, especially for 14 rounds, to go undefeated. For this guy to go 12-0-2, Michael Bond. I mean, that kudos to him.
Well, Rakdos Aggro can come under most Sultai. It can because it's keeping. I mean, it's not just Rakdos Aggro. It's kind of aristocrats. I mean, it's like
it's more
kill that, kill that, kill that, and off with your head.
It's not running like the Judith. It's not running. No. It's running the Mayhem Devil, but
it's not running the Kitty.
Well, of course not. And it's not running Oven either.
Yeah. Well, without the Kitty, why would you run Oven?
Yeah, no, but it's much more aggressive. It has Bolas' Citadel, for Christ's sake.
That is still a card that I think
that card is disgusting.
It's a disgusting card, but it never found it should have been bigger than it was.
It's big in vintage.
Okay.
It's
But
a
I'm
really
saying
good card
in standard,
vintage.
and it had its days right before rotation last year with Command the Dreadhorde. I mean, the two of them working together, it was a monstrously powerful, stupid deck.
Yeah.
But it's never been like...
There's the problem with Bolas' Citadel in standard is that that's a card that relies on payoffs. And in standard right now, there's no real payoff for it. And it's it's going to be rotating. But in Commander, in Vintage, the stuff you can pull off think about Vintage. You're like, oh look, Mox, Lotus, Ancestral, da 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 da. I mean, you can go absolutely crazy with this card in Vintage, and any card from a standard legal set breaking into Vintage is hard enough.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's a really good card in Vintage says something. But yeah, you're right. It never really took off in standard. So, but seeing it in an aggressive build it's cool because it's a 6-drop enchant artifact. So you really would normally not think you'd have the time to do it, but I think this is in there since it's a one of. That's like the nail in the coffin, slam the door, I'm going to have this massive turn and you need to deal with it type of a card.
Right. Well, it's not just that. It's, the thing about that card in standard as well is the 20 life. Like, I see it in Commander because you're like, okay, hey, I got room. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you win at 19 or at 1.
True. So I definitely, but I mean, the name of the game right now, the state of standard is 100% Sultai. Blue, it's blue-green. It's blue-green and black, but there's Teamer Adventures is still hanging on.
Teamer Adventures is a distant tier 2.
Yeah. I mean, Sultai, it's Euro. Euro right now is the Mac Daddy.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll be 10 minutes after rotation, and people will be like, ban him!
They're already calling for it in every format. People are like, this card is making things, it's repetitive, it's hard to deal with. They get a guaranteed 3 life in a land off of this pretty much every time, and aggro decks have a hell of a time dealing with multiple copies.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that it's yet another pushed Simic Mythic that's wrecking the format.
I disagree. Here's the thing. It is dealable. It is 100%. It is an enter the battlefield. It is not a when cast. If you're playing control, if you're playing blue and can counter some spells, you're fine.
No, you're not, because they can recur it.
Well, you can recur it, but
escape, and these decks love putting cards in their graveyard.
Right, but I don't think it's I think when Euro goes away.
Here's our combat basically early on. It's the fact that you have to deal with the single copy of it multiple times. Right. So if they're running 4, which every Simic deck worth their salt or Sultai deck is going to be running 4, it means you're going to have upwards of 8 to 12 answers for this card.
Right, and then on the other side of it, they got Hydroid Krasis for the coin flip.
Hydroid Krasis and Nissa, and some of these decks ramp into Ugin. So it's like, you pick your poison as to what you want to deal with, but Uro is the linchpin to all of these decks, and he's really hard to deal with. And if he wasn't a 6/6 on top of it.
I can't imagine that, we're going to see... I think we're going to see a lot of green again in Zendikar because they like green.
It could be, yeah.
Or blue. Yeah, we might see a banning for this afterward. I don't think it's necessary. I think we're over banning. I do. I wish
we were. I really wish we were.
No, I'm sorry. Fires of Invention was a banning that did not need to happen.
Yes, it did.
It did not. It was fine. It was. You could deal with it. They couldn't cast anything on your turn.
What them banning it tells me is that something was coming in Zendikar and over the next year that was going to be problematic that they forgot about, because remember, Fires doesn't rotate.
Right.
A lot of the current tools that go with the Fires deck does, but the card itself doesn't rotate. So, and I think. I mean, I'm tired of us having to talk about bans like every couple of weeks, because it feels like that's all we talk about is, what's going to get banned now? When a few years ago, it had been years since a card had been banned. Oh, yeah. Now we've had like a dozen.
But, I mean, he talked about that in his little article, and, it was a little bullshitty.
Well, The problem is it's going to be about a year before we see any of these changes that he's talking about.
Exactly.
Which means whatever's in Zendikar and in the next couple of sets is potentially going to be more of the same.
Well, there's a part of me that's wondering because there's been no leak of the next set. Because of the pandemic, it's very possible they've managed to, they maybe weren't able to, which makes no sense. You should have been able to design from home and Zoom and the whole nine. But maybe they, it put a kind of a break on it. Like, we have seen nothing for what comes after ZR.
There's only, they haven't said anything about after Zendikar. We only know of one potential leak from the Zendikar set. That, like we said, we're not
the
talking
Nissa,
about.
right? The Black Nissa?
No, this is a land.
Oh, okay. I keep hearing Golgari Nissa.
That's the guy that did the leaks for M21 and the guy that did the leaks for Ikoria apparently says that there's a Golgari Nissa, which we already know that Nissa's in the set.
Right.
And Zendikar is her home plane. And we know that she wasn't happy with the way
I'm like, holy shit, okay.
if you think about it, I think in her backstory there is some element of her backstory that goes into Black Mana, because I think the elves that she was with were like super racist, like xenophobic people. Genocidal in that respect. So Black Arena could be very possible.
So there were Trump reporters. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
What are you? But I honestly, given that guy's track record, I wouldn't be surprised if that leak was true. We won't talk about what the land that was leaked does, but I did see it, and it looks interesting. It looks very interesting. I don't even think I've told you what it does.
You haven't.
I don't think you've seen it.
Why don't you just whisper it to me right now?
I'll tell you off air.
All right.
But I think, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to see a lot more pushed green.
Of course we are.
And or Simic in Zendikar. It won't be. I would like to know what the next few sets are going to be.
Yeah, that's just it. I want to know where we're going back, because obviously they'll pick another plane to go back to.
Yeah, we're going to be bouncing around for a while because they haven't picked up the main story again, because, we're going to Phyrexia. Yeah. At some point, we're going to go to Phyrexia.
And I think that'll be rotation next year. Again, as I said last week, I think their plan going forward should be the first set of a rotation. That's when you go to a plane we've been to. Like, here's the thing. I don't think it's any big coincidence that most of our banned cards came from Throne of freaking Eldraine. All right, you overpowered that set because you're like, wee, it's a new place. No. let's dial it down a little bit.
Let me see how many are from Eldraine. Let me look at that real quick. I'm here in standard. See, from Throne of Eldraine, we've got Cauldron Familiar, Fires of Invention, Oko, Once Upon a Time. That's 4
out of the 10.
Out of the 10. So 40% of the banned cards are from Throne of Eldraine, whereas Agent of Treachery, Field of the Dead
is 21,
and Veil of Summer is from 20. So it's 3. So 7 of those cards
come from 2 sets.
Are from 2 sets, and then the other one's from Ravnica Allegiance, which is Growth Spiral.
Yeah,
and then the other one is. Actually, there's 2 from Ravnica Allegiance.
Wilderness
Reclamation, and then the last one's War of the Spark Teferi.
Right.
I'm actually surprised that there's only been 1 card out of War of the Spark that was banned in Standard.
Honestly, I gotta say it right now. I'm gonna lay this out there. Well, first of all, everybody was calling for Nissa. They're like, it's the most powerful card in Standard. Okay, fine, whatever. But I'm gonna lay this out there right now. Okay, War of the or Nissa was one of the most powerful, but War of the Spark, for what it was actually rather balanced.
It was very balanced, but the problem was it was balanced at a high level.
Yeah.
You have cards like Narset, Teferi, Nissa. Yeah. I mean, those 3 cards, right? 3 Planeswalkers right there. And, I mean, you get to more of like the fringe cases, like, maybe the
Gideon
Ashiok,
was played for a while.
Gideon was played for a while. Ashiok shows up every now and again.
Ashiok shows up in Modern because he's like, fetch land, fuck you.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's a very powerful set. It was balanced, especially in Limited. It was balanced, but it was actually no, it really wasn't balanced because it was really bomb heavy.
Yeah,
because you opened Oketra and you're like, well, I win.
Yeah, I think it was a good set
overall.
And maybe that's something maybe that'll be a topic for next week. Is let's go through the stuff that's rotating out and our thoughts on that, and etc. Kind of close the book. I think we did that last year during rotation.
Yeah.
Because
I
again,
can't wait to close this book.
the weeks before rotation tend to be pretty quiet. Standards figured out.
Yeah.
So
and to think about it, this standard was reset multiple times, and guess who kept rising to the top?
listen, Teferi. No, I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Okay, Teferi.
I was saying Sultai.
No. I'm saying Travis. I'm checking on the thing.
Oh.
Travis, I'm going to disagree with you. I think Teferi was very balanced. Teferi was not interactive, but Teferi's abilities, pretty much the one you would want to use, because really, okay, being able to play a instant or sorcery, yeah. But 9 times out of 10, if you're dropping that for turn 3, you're bouncing something back to the hand, putting it down to 1. You can deal with it. I think Teferi was very balanced. And I hate Teferi. I hated playing against Teferi. I think Teferi was balanced, though. Huh?
He was easy to deal with if you ticked him down, but you had to have that answer that turn.
Well,
because you can't do instant speed interaction with him.
Right.
He was he completely shut off an aspect of the game only for your opponents.
Yeah.
He was terribly balanced and terribly costed. You remember when he was previewed, we're like, what the f are they thinking?
I hated playing against him. I did. I hate playing against him.
I loved playing with him and hated playing against him. I mean, the control matchups were basically boiled down to who
it was a race to Teferi.
It was a race to Teferi with Dobin's veto backup.
Yeah.
Because all you had to do was counter that first spell that they cast to try to deal with it, or counter their Teferi. And I would say 80% of the time, you were going to win that game because you were in control.
See, I dealt with Teferi in a lot of matches, though. I played matches with Teferi, and he was beatable. Now, in the standard we have... Right.
If he wasn't beatable, he would have been, oppressively in the top decks of the format. He would have been banned a lot sooner.
Exactly.
The fact that he wasn't banned as soon as he was because control as a whole wasn't a good archetype, but that's just because ramp was so good.
Well, ramp was ridiculous, yeah.
That's the problem. If ramp ramp still exists, and Teferi's not there. I think if Teferi hadn't been banned with this latest banning, I think control would be very much close to the top.
Oh, control would be at the top.
Because this version of ramp is nowhere near as explosive as the ones with Growth Spiral and Wilderness Reclamation, and the ramp decks were running Teferi.
Right. Because it was banned. Everybody was running banned. So
yeah, now they switched to Sultai because they want the controlling elements from that end of it.
And that's just it. And then Travis, again, I am not saying that Teferi was a good card. I'm saying that, with the exception of a few cards, War of the Spark was pretty well balanced. Because what we've been kind of talking about, well, in a more macro sense of the sets and stuff, because it's obvious that when Core 21 hit, that was where Aramis and I were doing the show. We'd just been doing it for about 6 months at that point.
Oh, that was Core 20, yeah.
Yeah, Core 20, and we were like, this is not a core set. Like, what the hell are these cards? So let me get this straight. You have a 7-drop that takes anything, including a... What? Like, they were just everywhere through. Veil of Summer, we're like, so let me get this straight. A green counterspell?
It was a green cryptic command. and like we saw Field of the Dead. And like,
yeah.
I think
Field of the Dead was when we were like,
Well, I think initially we were like, I'm not so sure. Well,
Then when you read Scape Shift, you're like,
And they put that in the same set.
And when when you sit there, because Scape Shift was in 19. And when you sit there and they interview him and they're like, well, we wanted to do something with Scape Shift because we felt there was a card that didn't get enough stuff, so we made it this land. It's like, you put Golos in the same set, you dumb hucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they made so many mistakes with the sets this year.
It's Core 21 forward. Like, in Ikoria, they did okay.
Ikoria was a good set.
Yeah.
I liked Ikoria.
Theros was a good set.
I think the
Theros was a quiet set.
Well, the underwhelming aspect, I think, for Ikoria, I think Mutate is too restrictive for Constructed, which is too bad. I don't think it's good enough. Mutate's not good enough for Constructed.
It wasn't good enough for this Constructed. I think you'll see it more.
Maybe I'm hoping
post-rotation.
Like, there are some good cards with Mutate. I mean, I would love to have seen like the Wedge Apex Predators get some play. And now
again, we can't talk. Yes, we are aware of Companions. Yes, they screwed up.
Companions aside, because that was a disaster. And like I've always said with Companions, the idea, the premise of it was good. I liked that. I liked that they're innovating and trying new things. They just didn't really take a good long look at how good these cards were.
I talked about this in the podcast on the ride home, so on the Patreon cast. The problem is with design. Design is wonderful, and it is, and you need to push design, but you cannot push design without accounting for execution. And what's happened is that and so in a way, and I read Rosewater's article and I really went through it, and in some ways he did try to pass that buck a little bit and was like, well, we innovatively designed, and yeah, companions were a problem, but playtesting and they should have checked it. And I'm like, no, y'all, you got to take this hit. I'm sorry, y'all got to take this hit. This was an egg on your face, and what you did to fix it was the mistake, because now companions are useless. They're not seeing play, and it's exactly what I said, which is why I got a free pack coming from you. In that, honestly, what they should have done was the mechanic was sound, as long as you didn't have that 7th card in your hand. Yeah, if you were playing with a companion, you draw 6. Done.
And I think, and I agreed with you. I think that should have been the best fix. I think the only, it's not a complete pass that I'm going to give Rosewater on that, or even the design team, and R&D in general.
It was R&D that he was blaming. He was really blaming R&D.
The whole play design and play testing, all that stuff, all of that. I'm going to lump them in, and I'm going to say they get like a partial pass. They get like when you're in grade school, you do a report, and they just give it back with an incomplete.
Yes.
It's not a pass. It's not a fail. They just work on this some more.
That happened in college. Remind me to tell you about my Dr. Smiley someday. She was grading my term papers while I was writing the next one.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, she kept handing them back, dude. I was working 3 papers at once at one point. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So incomplete. So you're like, all right, I didn't pass, I didn't fail, but I got to keep working on it. So I'm gonna give them an incomplete because it is a small team relative to the size of the community at large.
And that's and I'm going to agree with you on that. And I think here's part of it.
There are fewer brains.
Yeah. Well, no, that's just it. I'm going to add this in. Is that you do get a pass this year because, okay, you got to figure you designed and did all this stuff a year ago, which a year ago is when you had the big push for Arena. A year ago is when you said, we're an esport and we're going to be doing esports and we're going to be going into this arena. And you started really pushing Arena, and Arena exploded. Okay, and here's the thing. Arena figures out your decks and your playtesting and your R&D far faster than you ever could. You probably have 20 people doing playtesting, whereas Arena has, thousands or hundreds of thousands, and they figure it out in days. Now, that brings up what I said in the cast on the Patreon cast was part of what I think should happen is that they should move playtesting to Arena. They should choose, first of all, their MPL people should absolutely, they're already under a can't talk about it order.
The non-disclosures.
Yeah. So why the hell not? And those are the people that they're the ones trying to break it 5 seconds after you announce it anyway. So get them into the...
They already have former pros on the design team and on the playtest team.
But the game is different today than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but it's not like they stopped playing.
True. I know. But I'm saying that competitive is different too and things like that. And not just that. You have these people on salary. You have them on staff. Use them. They will break it. They will be like, they would have seen Fires of Invention's problems and said, okay, that's a mistake.
But the problem wasn't Field of the Dead Melissa DeToro? Wasn't she part of the whole process?
Oh, she loved it. Yeah.
She was one of the ones testing the card, I believe.
She actually said, I wanted this in there because of Scape Shift. She was the one whose report I read.
Well, it's something along those lines. Well, she was on the team anyway,
right?
So she had seen the card and she was helping with the card. So it could have been stopped. But basically, my pass is saying that they, like you're saying, they didn't account for Arena being the hive mind that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the metas are solved so quickly now that what's the point of even, you just sit back and wait a couple days, nope, there's the top deck, and it's not really going to change as much as it used to, even just a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the problem too is that once they start banning, that opens up other interactions that they wouldn't have foreseen, because they're not only playing with a complete card pool, they're also playing with a future card pool. So they might be saying, hey, this is a cool card, it'll be good in about a year and a half, and they completely forget about this interaction that happens when this other card gets banned.
Or it's actually also dealing with the fact, like Companions, where, he admitted, he's like, we didn't really play it against other formats. It's like, holy shit, how do you not see this breaking Vintage? Like at no point did you think to yourself, oh, that could be a problem.
Most of the companions are like whatever in Vintage, but the two that were the problems, Zerda and Loris, were so absurdly broken in that format. I feel bad for them because what they were trying. Like, they don't go out and make these cards to get banned. No, that's obviously not their intent. They want the game to be healthy. They want people to have fun. They want people to try new things. And they were thinking, hey, this is a nice way for people to be creative, sort of put their own spin on things. Personalization is a big part of playing Magic. You play the deck that you want to play. You have it tweaked the way you like it. And here's Companions. Here's another way that some people can do that. And then, whoops, they're probably the most broken thing we've done in about 10 years. We have to actually change how they work.
Right.
It's insane, because when's the last time they did anything close to that?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because it's not like they're banned. They're legal cards. You can still play Companions. It's just now they're terrible.
They're awful. The errata on that was really bad, and they really should go back to the drawing board on it.
It's gone from the other end of the spectrum, whereas before, all of them except for one or two were awesome. Now all of them except for one or two are useless.
Yeah. And it's not just that. It's because you have to put it in your hand. You have to pay the 3 mana. It's like, it's coming. Oh, Thought Erasure. Fuck off. And that's just it. The reason I liked Companions was it shut off Thought Erasure. It shut off wow, say that bad. Thoughtseize. I mean, it shut off those things that are like, I want that card. I want that card out of here.
Yeah. It shut off the hand disruption, and it also basically said, I'm going to bait out a counterspell from you.
Right.
Because even if you get the one that's already in my companion zone, I probably have more in my hand or in my deck.
Exactly. And so I think they should have just done the 6 and 1. I think it could have kept it all together, but I have a strange feeling that they felt, and perhaps in older formats it wouldn't have made much of a difference to be 6 and 1. They're like, yeah, but the 6 cards I have in Vintage are, monsters anyway.
Well, the 6 cards you have in Vintage are probably a collection of Moxes and Ancestral Recall.
Right. So
the sad thing is that we're probably never going to see this mechanic again, and we're probably never going to see them reprinted.
No. Well, Rosewater might. No,
they might put them in a supplemental set, but then that would involve, that would at least, the only reason I would want to see them reprinted is that you could actually see the correct rules text on them.
Right.
Because now the biggest problem with this errata is that new people coming into the game, oh, look at this great card, and you click to have something in your graveyard. Oh, wait, if you have him as your companion, by the way, you have to actually pay 3 first, put him in your hand. Well, where does it say that? Oh, you have to look up the comprehensive rules.
Go to Gatherer, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you have to look up the card to play with the card. You shouldn't have to do that.
No.
That's unfortunate. And something that should have been fun, that I know they wanted to be fun, ended up being just a complete train wreck, which, again, I guess is par for the course for this year.
It's kind of like, yeah, this is a bad year.
Can we just rotate, please?
I think they already did that.
No, Uro's still here. Nissa's still here. Well, Uro's still here.
Uro's still going to be here. Nissa is not a problem. Come on.
Well, not okay. Problem in the sense of it's basically, she's
double
the best
green
planeswalker.
Yeah.
Well, she's the best planeswalker in Standard right now.
She's the best card in Standard right now. Yeah. I'm going to go that far. She's better than Uro. She's the best card in Standard right now. My opinion.
Okay. So. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that, but I mean, between her and Hydroid Krasis and
Uro.
Ramp in general,
yeah,
just please rotate. Please go away.
All right. So that's pretty much the state of Standard right now. The state of Standard is
Sultai poop.
Yeah, Sultai. So let's go ahead and get into combat. And then we cast a fog because we got nothing.
We kind of already sparred.
Yeah, we did. All right, so let's go into main 2 here. So main 2, we tend to like to talk about Arena, get a little bit outside the Standard box a little bit, which is good because, holy crap, again, let's not talk about Standard. And again, I love Standard. I want Standard to be good again. I'm not being Mr. Negative Nelly. This is not the Magic Historian. But we're going to talk a little bit. There was a banning today, and an unsurprising banning.
Not surprising.
Now, does this mean we get 4 rares?
Only if you hadn't already gotten wild cards for it, because when I logged into MTGA, I didn't get any wild cards. So if you had already gotten wild cards from when it was banned in Standard way back when, you're not going to get more wild cards for it now.
Which doesn't seem fair, because I got wild cards for something else that was banned. Oh, thought I got for in Historic that was also banned in Standard. Because you might
have gotten them after they were banned in Standard.
You should get. I'm going to lay that out there right now. Historic, okay? Yeah, you gave me 4 wild cards for when I played it in Standard. Fine. Here's the thing. Now you're saying I can't ever play the card in Arena. So, frankly, yeah, give me a freaking wild card.
I disagree with, only because although actually, you know what, since none of it has any value, I'll agree with you on
exactly
that
there's no value. It's not like I could trade it
on that principle. If the cards had any actual value, I would say no, because you technically already gotten reimbursed for them. You got your 4 wild cards, so it's like you didn't get any more copies of the card. Why should they give you more wild cards? But there is no value. When they shut off the servers, you lose everything. So
right. And that's coming one day. I keep telling people, I'm like, that's why I try to be very careful about what I spend at Arena. I'm like, eventually, someday, you're going to turn the servers off.
Hoping it's many, 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 many years.
Oh, yeah. The push they're putting in to get Pioneer in there, I don't think we're going anywhere for a while. This is not Planeswalker Origins.
Arena goes away in 2 scenarios. Magic goes away, which I hope never happens. Or they find something that's better than Arena, which the only way that happens is if they add multiplayer, like 4-player, to the client.
If they find some way to design MTGO to look like Arena, but keep all of that data.
Which, honestly, they probably should have just done to begin with.
I kind of agree with you there. MTGO has so much, but I have a feeling. Here's the thing: I work in IT. It's a scalability thing. The engine that they built the Arena on is far more scalable than what they're using for MTGO.
MTGO is and it's Excel.
Yeah, it's antiquated.
Yeah, it is. Although I think I would want MTGO scale, MTGA free to play.
Right.
Because you don't have to spend any money on Arena if you don't want to. Whereas if you play on Magic Online, unless you can go infinite from the start with your beginner package, you're going to have to basically buy 2 copies of every card, one for real life, one for digital. Although they do have set redemptions in MTGO at least. That's something I think they should have in Arena is set redemptions.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You have get 4 copies of each card. You send it in, and you get 1 copy of each in real life.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Or I would be happy with dusting.
Or a foil.
Yeah, I would just be happy with dusting. Please let me dust my collection.
Yes.
So.
Although I guess now that they're going with eternal formats and everything,
Well, let me say this too. By the way, so the banning today.
Yeah,
way to bury the lead. His Field of the Dead, surprising to absolutely
nobody
no one.
Was surprised.
Field of the Dead is officially banned in Historic. Yeah, that deck got broken.
They should have, honestly, when they did the big surprise ban a couple of weeks ago, they should have just tossed Field of the Dead in there because they knew Hour of Promise was coming, and you could not tell me that they thought, oh, this is totally balanced and fine to put these 2 cards back together. It's a mini scape shift. What could possibly go wrong?
It was a bad day. And I mean, that's just it. I've been playing a little bit of Historic. I've been playing a little bit of Mono Red because, again, Hazoret's back. I love Hazoret. Earthshaker Kenras are back. The
Glorybringer's back.
The Glorybringer's back. The On-Crop Crusher is back.
Mm-hmm.
Haste and haste, and then Shocks and it's a beautiful.
That was the last time I enjoyed playing an aggressive deck.
Ramanop Ruins is still legal.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how long that lasts.
Well, right now Red is becoming the dominant card. It actually took the place of Goblins. Which because Muxus was like, holy shit, ban it now, and now they're like, we're okay.
I guess the Mux. I don't know if this is accurate, but I think that weren't the Muxus decks like working in concert with Field of the Dead? Wasn't it some weird interaction? No, I must have read something.
No, it was pretty much, it was pretty much all goblins because you don't want zombies out there. You want goblins. Mm-hmm. So, Yeah, historic right now is, guys. Historic's where it's at. If you're playing arena, play historic. Put a deck together. Jumpstart is gone, which sucks, and they need to put that back in full time.
Yes, please.
And let me buy packs using my coins. Let me just buy a random pack. You have this pack. Great. Let me do.
Yeah, I would buy the crap out of it if it was on arena all the time.
So, but yeah, like right now, it's where it's at. There's, Burn is there. Team Rec is there still because Reclamation's still legal. I think, right? Yeah, Reclamation's legal.
I can't actually find the historic banned and restricted list. Like, it's not on the regular page. I don't know if I have to go into Arena to find that.
I'm checking now.
But yeah. So it's I don't know. I think Reclamation was taken out of historic.
Yeah, I gotta find that out.
I'd have to find. I can't find that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting whether it's in there or not. I know Growth Spiral is banned, but I don't think Wilderness Wreck was yet.
Yeah, I'd have to find like in Gather or something.
Yeah, because I mean
I'll look up the card itself. This is the high quality content, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, welcome to us knowing exactly what we're talking about before we ever start the show. But yeah, right now Historic is. Oh no, it's suspended. Historic has Wilderness Wreck being suspended. Okay. Ruined Halo and Gideon's and Intervention are banned in Historic Brawl, and Field of the Dead is banned. So. Yeah.
I know the banned list is larger than that, but.
Yeah, it's basically Agent of Treachery, Fires, Winota, Nexus, Burning Tree is suspended.
So where did you find that?
I'm looking at mtg.gamepedia.com. So.
Okay.
Oko's banned, Once Upon a Time is banned, Veil of Summer's banned, Field of the Dead is...
Crying no tears for those cards.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I miss playing Oko. Oko's fun.
Oko was an abomination. The only saving grace is that now if I want to get one, because I still don't own one, they're relatively cheap now.
Yeah, they're like 7 cents. So,
$15.
Yes. So...
I can't get an Euro to save my life, but,
Let me see here.
But you're right. Historic is basically if you want to play Magic, unless you're playing limited. They're doing the Amonkhet remastered drafts, and that
which is
draft
fun.
Format looks like a lot of fun. I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I used my token for it. I did okay. I think I went 2 and I went 2 or 3 out.
I
forget how to draft it. I forget how to draft that.
Well,
deck.
like limited is a weak spot for you anyway. We should
always has been.
Yeah, we should sit down the two of us and do like a on-screen 2-person help you with the draft to see if maybe it'd be like a bot draft.
Maybe.
That way we have like unlimited time to look at the cards.
Yeah, or I could just never be good at limited.
No, getting good at limited helps you in constructed.
Or I could just be good at constructed and just net deck. What's wrong with that? Everybody
Nothing's
net
wrong with net decking. I net deck all the time. I can't build with net.
That's me baiting all of you trolls out there.
It's the funny thing because I'd like to think I'm pretty decent at limited, but I can't build a constructed deck to save my life.
I do okay at constructed. I do see,
I can't brew, put it that way.
I'm getting better at brewing. So it take a little bit of work and, but for the most part, yeah.
Maybe it's because I don't drink brews.
There you go. You should start brewing.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Again, this is so very
net decking
hoppy.
tastes better.
This is actually almost too hoppy. Which, I'll drink it anyway. It's
does
wet.
That mean it's like jumping up and down in your mouth? I don't get it.
Hops are kind of like that bitter taste in beer. But it's, it gives it a flavor, and it if it's built correctly, it's not an unpleasant experience. So,
I'll take your word for it. And,
so
all due respect.
Field of the Dead being gone. I mean, that's going to have an impact on some things. It's going to definitely change.
That'll help control.
Yeah, it's going to help Mono Red. Mono Red is going to be the new hotness for a while.
The card was just such a mistake because, I mean, unless you blew it up, there was never any dead draws with the card. And if you had them in multiples, I mean, we saw what happened when it was legal in standard. Like, oh, I'm going to play a land. Oh, look, here's 4 zombies. I'm going to play another land. Here's 4 more zombies. Oh, God, this is disgusting.
So, I mean, there's still Azorius aggro still out there. Blue Tempo is back. So, which I like Blue Tempo. You know, Mono Blue Tempo was fun to play. In Autumn, I mean, they piloted that deck better than anybody.
Yeah. They were kind of the poster child for the Mono Blue Tempo deck. That basically was their calling card of Mono Blue.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been added in now. I mean, Mono Blue Tempo, but with Brineborn and Brazen Burrower. And a Sea Dasher Octopus. Okay.
Yes. Yep, I've seen that deck in action. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that historic. I mean, the Field of the Dead decks weren't like they were talking about it in the band announcement. They weren't like
overpowering.
They weren't super dominant, but they're like, yeah, this is going to be a problem real fast. So they actually like, oh, let's nip this in the bud. Oh, they should have done that.
Which tells me that lands and Zendikar Rising are also going to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, I mean, well, that's part of Zendikar. I mean, man lands were a big thing. Like the big debate now is that I think.
Why are you not reprinting fetches? Sorry.
Well, yeah. The rumor is about the fetch lands, and I don't know how.
It has to be Commander Anthology at this point.
No. They're not going to be in Commander Anthologies. In that Commander Legends, it's not going to be in there because the enemy battle bond lands are there, and they don't typically do multiple land cycles in a set.
That's true.
So, what the rumor that I've heard is that they're going to be in the ancillary slot in collector boosters. You know where like there's that one slot where you can get like a Planeswalker deck card or whatever?
I swear to God, if they try to charge $100 again, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Not the VIP packs, the $30 collector booster packs. So they're going to be in there.
Which that'll sell collector booster boxes.
It'll absolutely, because I guess one of the people that are like big finance people, they were posting on Reddit saying how it seems the demand for collector booster boxes is a lot higher than normal for some reason. So the rumor is that that's where they're going to stick the fetch lands as a sort of a expedition type thing, but only in collector boosters, which in my opinion sucks.
It does.
It's not a meaningful reprint. And I mean, I understand you don't want these cards in standard. I understand that you're scared of that, and I understand that.
But you printed Hangerback Walker during Kaladesh. All right, you printed monstrously awesome stuff as expeditions. You can do it. You can say these are not standard legal, but you might open one. You will sell booster boxes for a freaking bit. You couldn't find a Kaladesh booster box back in the day. They had to do reprintings. Like, because they were just selling out because everybody's like, I want to open one of these expeditions.
I mean, it kind of makes sense if they're doing something like that. It makes sense because the first time they did Zendikar, they did the Hidden Treasures one in the first print run of Zendikar where you could pull a Black Lotus. So, but the fetch lands are not on that level. They're a card that you need for eternal formats.
Right.
Outside of Pioneer, of course. For Modern, Legacy, Vintage. I mean, maybe not so much Commander.
You do. You want
good. It's nice to have. They're very nice to have, and they need to be accessible. There's no reason that a land that doesn't even tap for mana, does nothing on the battlefield by itself, should be $50, $60, $70 each. There's zero reason for that. I don't care that you're scared of people shuffling. Reprint the damn fetch lands, you cowards.
Yeah. The fetch lands need to be, and they need to, you're right, the word is accessible. They need to be accessible at this point. You need to find...
People are giving up the argument, well, just because you didn't play Magic when the cards were printed, that doesn't mean they have to reprint them. Well, so that means I can never play an older format because I'm never going to have the mana base?
No, you can if you're willing to buy this fetch land from me.
Yeah, no.
For MTG or for TCG Median.
I get that it's a collectible, but it's not a freaking commodity. You shouldn't be doing speculations and investments based on Magic cards.
We need to, and that's just it. It needs to change. Things need to change now. The
reserve list needs to go away.
Oh, that's a hot take. Wow, that
reserve list needs to go away. You heard it here first. I hate the reserve list.
Wow, you heard it here, folks. The reserve list needs to go, and Power 9 needs to be in standard.
I don't think Power 9 needs to be in standard, but you can reprint them.
Yeah, we should be allowed to reprint
because the reserve list is a lie. Look at an Alpha Birds of Paradise. It's $1,500. Look at a Return to Ravnica of Birds of Paradise. $5.
Yep.
It's the same card. The original cards will maintain their value. The only cards that might take a big hit are like revised or unlimited duels.
Right.
Everything else will be fine because alpha beta stuff is still alpha beta stuff. People
Right.
are going to want that, and they're still going to have like, will they drop a little bit? Probably, but I imagine that they go back up. But in the meantime, if I can spend $15 on a booster pack, I'd be willing to spend it if there was a chance of me opening a Savannah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's historic today, the banning and stuff, and we're in total agreement on that. The fetch lands need to be, they need to be somewhere. And you know what? It's time to come out and tell us, because you said it's going to be 2020. We're now at, the last set of the year before, and then you have your ancillaries of Commander. Unless you're going to do, and you've gone out of your way to say, you could have said, hey, the secret lair was what we were talking about. But you went out of your way to say, that's not what we're talking about. So, okay, I'm down. So put up now, put up or shut up, put it in where it needs to go. But for goodness sake, make it, I almost want,
just make it happen.
I want WotC, senior management to go at this point. It's like, wipe them all out. Put some people in there that know what they're doing.
How much of it is WotC, though? And how much is WotC and how much is Hasbro?
Hasbro doesn't give a shit. They only care about one thing, the number on the bottom of the tally sheet. This is WotC trying to maintain the integrity of the game.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I know.
Secondary market that doesn't really exist. But anyway, the only places that the fetch lands could show up would be Zendikar Rising in some shape or form,
or in the Commander
Legends.
Yeah,
Commander Legends, which doesn't look likely because they put the Battle Bond lands in there, or some holiday gift box thing that they haven't announced yet. That's probably going to cost $200, like another stupid secret lair. But I'm thinking that the rumor that I heard is probably the most plausible one, where it's going to be in the collector boosters in an ancillary slot, which is going to suck because most people aren't going to be able to get them.
Well, not just that. You aren't going to be able to get them at retail, because the minute you put out there, because they've also taken away the MSRP, the minute you put it out there that fetch lands are in the are in the collector boosters, their price goes through the roof at almost any game store. Now, Kerwin's, I mean, we've heard from Steve. He's like, I don't do that. He's like, my initial run, my first shipment and all that, he's like, no, it's relative to what it should be. But there are a lot of less than spurious game stores out there that'll be like, nope, this should be $52 because you could open a fetch land.
Yeah. And not to mention those, speculators and stuff who are going to buy like 10 cases and just hang on to them.
Not just that, they'll hang on, they'll open them. Like, tell you the truth, I don't want to be like Steve. We'll open a couple of boxes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like the ones that have like 12 cases of booster boxes in their basement because, it's probably going to go up because it has these values. It's not an investment.
Which I sit there and I'm like, you're the reason that they think VIP boosters were successful. Those should have sat on the shelves.
Yes.
But they
Especially
didn't.
The
they
poor
moved.
Professor.
Oh, that was great.
I mean, it's not that Goblin Guide and Expedition Map aren't played good cards, but it's like if you're opening a $100 booster pack and those are the ones you open, when you could have opened Force of Will or Jace, I mean, ouch. I mean, the Force of Will, the foil showcase Force of Will is $500.
You opened a Force of Will, right?
I opened a Force of Will, but it was out of a regular booster pack.
So I got a couple of Thoughtseize, including a foil one. I did open a couple of Double Masters. So
yeah, I didn't get a Thoughtseize. I would like a Thoughtseize.
It was, in fact, I got them right here because we're running out of time. But yeah,
that was another reason I was super jazzed about last week because I got to cast Force of Will for the first time in 10 years.
And it is fun when you get to do that. Yeah, I got a Thoughtseize, was a big one. Foil Thoughtseize, which I like, because Thoughtseize is a great card. What's the other one?
Helps you for Modern, if you want to ever build, like, Jund.
Yeah, it helps me for my Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, that's a good card.
It's a good card. Again, but I'm not playing any black in my commanders. So it's like, well, shit. Yeah, I can go into Atraxa. Yeah,
that's a good Wrath for Atraxa.
Yeah, there was some other good stuff I got, and I can't remember offhand, but...
I mean, Double Masters in isolation, like the professor was saying, in isolation of price, Double Masters was fantastic.
I like Double Masters. You know what? I bought a couple of the draft packs. I bought a couple, and I bought a booster pack or two, if I saw them. And I'm like, I had the time, I had the money, I had the, it was like, okay, this is something I can do. But
it was good. It was good in that respect. But it is too expensive. I don't think a booster pack should be any more than $8 or $9.
Well, and that's just it. I think it's going to be 15 for these master sets. So I think that's how it's going to be from now on.
Because they sell.
Right, and I mean, like I said, and then I got a foil Urza's Mine, a foil Urza's Power Plant.
That's cool.
Just need one more, man. Then 3 more of each.
Yeah. Wow, fuck Tron.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't mind playing Tron. I like Tron. That's just it. Tron's a great modern deck to get into. It's always there. It's always hanging around. But yeah, the big ones were Thoughtseize and Toxic Deluge.
Nothing wrong. Those are good pulls.
Oh, those are decent pulls, yeah. So, with that, now, what I want to do is I want to pivot, because we're talking historic. We're getting close to the end here. We might skip the whole Commander thing. We'll see.
That's fine.
I want to talk a little bit about the Win-A-Box. So, for the first time since we started doing this is our third time doing this, we have a full field of 32. I'm very, very, very excited to say that. It was really kind of cool. Wasn't even close. Like, I put them up today on a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in, and like they filled right up. So very excited. What I've got is Steve, who's a patron, Scott, Mark, patron, Alice, Brian, Get Bonked, great name, Dave, Sean Carroll, Jason Margraves. So some of these guys, a lot of these guys played in the last set. Cody played in the last set. Seth Groder, Nick McGowan, Jake A, Robert Ross, Trayton, our winner, Walter, our favorite, Mike Sanchez, another favorite, Josh Thomas, Elijah, Mark Morrison. So, Mark Morrison's my personal favorite just for, All right. And Terrence Campo, Miguel Flores, Zach Weber, Connor Bryant, Ted Bratsburg, Dylan Gersert, John Grunau, Anthony Dominguez, Michael Ezine, Joseph Yang, King Piloswine, great name, and Brian Paduano. Yes. So, yes, it's awesome. So we have our field of 32. They are getting deck lists in now. I think I've got 9 so far. As soon as I get to 32, I'm going to have to put them over. I have to put them into the freaking spreadsheet. And so, again, if you're listening to this and you're in this tournament, send me your deck list. But, and again, do not take a freaking photo of it. Remember, we had that problem last time.
Yeah, no.
So,
send it
out of Arena. Hit the export button.
Yes.
So, very excited for that. If we can get this going, I'd love to get it finished by the time we launch. So, so that they can get their box right around when everybody else is.
If they get started soon enough, it's possible. It might be pushing it a little bit, but I don't see why it wouldn't happen if they get started soon
With
enough.
A field of 32, it's what, 4 rounds, right? You go to 32 to 16, 8, 4. No, so it's 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, by all means, get those into me as soon as you can. Very excited. Some of the deck lists I'm seeing, I'm not going to lie. All right. This might change a few of you. Yes. There might be cycling in this deck lists. I'm dying of not surprised.
I mean, it's especially since Amonkhet added cycling to the pool too.
But
I think it's gonna be mostly. I think if they show up, it'll be mostly still the stock Ikoria cycling cards because they're the ones that cycle for 1.
Well, and that's just it. There's some really good brewy stuff. Walter obviously did some brewing. And that's how I'll do it. I won't get into what the decks are. I'm liking Terrence's deck a little bit. It's in your email, by the way, Aramis, if you want to look. I have under inbox, there's a folder called deck lists. So you can see it there. But he's playing some pretty good stuff, Terrence is. Scott's got a deck that I think could go well. Zach has a flavorful little deck here. I'm like, okay. And same with Josh. So we're not seeing, don't worry, we're not going to see just cycle after cycle after cycle. But I'm just letting you guys know there's already cycling in the field. So, yeah.
There's some spice in that.
There is a little bit of spice in it. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I want to try to, I want to try to see if we can set up like Tuesday night at 8:00. Find a feature match and be like, we'll call this. Okay, we want maybe that'll be our patrons. Like say, okay, Steve, you're playing Tuesday night at 8, can you play Tuesday or when can you play? And since you're a patron, we will come and call your match. And what we'll do is, we'll have you guys get into Zoom. And oh god, how would we do that? And how do we keep them from? Yeah, we'd have to record it.
If we did, it's either record it or
we'd have to record
keep it on one player's perspective.
Yeah, but even still, I don't want somebody streaming catching the stream.
True, yeah.
So it would have to be pre-recorded. So what we would do is we'd pre-record their match. We'd call the match, and then which then what we'd do is we'd have them join a Zoom call. Shit, I don't know how we'd keep them from looking at each other's screen if they did that, though. We'd have to figure this out.
Yeah, we have time.
We have time, because I'd like to see that, because you and I calling matches is fun anyway. That's the best part of the year for me, was going to Kerwin's and getting to call those matches. And it's I'm really mad that we don't have in-person Magic, because I think they were going to bring us back, especially if there was a standard event. Would you have wanted to play, or would you have wanted to call it? I would have rather called it. I would have been all right sitting down calling it.
I had a lot of fun calling it. And I do like standard more than, obviously I have more standard experience than modern.
Right.
God, that'd be tough.
I'd have called it.
I think it would depend. It would depend on the stakes.
Let me put it to you this way: we wouldn't have had to pay to call it.
That's true.
And we'd gotten swag.
We did get
there
swag.
Was a shirt, and I got a playmat.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to ask for the playmats, but.
Yeah, but they had plenty of extra. We didn't get a top 8 playmat though, but we had our fun.
I wanted that top 8 playmat.
Yeah, but we had fun with it. Remember?
Oh
when we went black and white with the 50s. Guys, go to our Twitch channel. Go back to about beginning of March.
Oh, well, no, I've got it clipped, so it's on there.
Oh, yeah, find the clip for that. It was, oh my god, it was hilarious.
Steve, do not wish that on us. Don't wish that on us. What are you doing? There could be a ban, dude. What are you talking about? Now he's done it.
He jinxed us. Great.
He jinxed us, yeah. Way to go, Steve. Thanks.
A pox on you.
And I know some of the, I know some people, the reason I didn't ask for the deck list until today, wait a second, they didn't do what they're supposed to do. There's if we suspend something by the next BNR that we do for historic, we would unsuspend it, or we would.
But they specifically mentioned that suspension wasn't an option for this card.
No, I'm saying BTE should have been either unsuspended or banned. Burning Tree Emissary is still suspended.
Oh, it hasn't been 30 days yet.
Oh, okay.
That's still within the 30 days.
Oh, no. Likely targets. They've banned Burning Tree Emissary. They've banned Growth Spiral. They've banned Wilderness Wreck.
Wilderness Reclamation. Yeah, those are 3 uncommons. But
yeah. No, they'll ban anything that's, but
heck,
trust
Growth
me.
Spiral's a common.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think if red keeps going the way it is, we're going to see probably, I don't think they do Has. I think they'll do Earthshaker.
No.
Earthshaker's powerful as fuck.
It's
though.
a 2-drop. It's fine.
You missed the beginning of the show, Steve. We already said that. So, but yeah, that's tonight's show, guys. We're gonna get on out of here because we're running a bit over. But we had a great time, huh?
Light show.
Again, we have a nice light show without a lot going on. Not a lot of content this week, so of course we go an hour and 7 minutes. So let's go ahead and get right into the. All right, so while Aramis and I are rolling up our playmats, putting our cards back in their boxes, taking the pizza boxes over by the trash, because damn it, your mother still does not work at the store, we want to remind you guys that you should always keep your Google Doc open when you're trying to read off it for an ending, because it's not open right now, and I'm just vamping. Okay. We want to remind you guys that both Aramis and I stream Arena on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel on Twitch. Look up PlanesTalkers podcast. You can also follow me on Twitch at MindCrime73.
And unlike our esteemed host, I came prepared. So, you can follow me on Twitch at RMacWRX. Oh, boo you. Even though I don't really stream much or really ever lately. Anytime I do end up on Twitch streaming, it's going to be on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel. But if you wanted to follow my personal channel, it's RMacWRX. But if Twitter is more your speed and you want to follow the show that way, you can find our show at PlanesTalkerPod on Twitter.
And I do have a personal Twitter. It's at WR Benson, but let's be honest, folks, I really don't post that much. I'm really there to just follow my favorite artist, Gerardo. Next week, it's going to be Mark Morrison. You watch. I like to follow. And, of course, you can always follow us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/PlanesTalker and like and follow our page. Remember, it's PlanesTalker, not PlanesTalkers. Somebody took that name, so we took the last S off and gave it to you for savings. And remember, folks, we do have a Discord now, and it has become a very active community. You can go there. We're always in there. Discord.PlanesTalkersPodcast.com.
And finally, if you'd like to follow the show in a different way, send us an email to let us know how we're doing. If you have an idea for the show, or you have a question about the show or the game in general, you can send us an email where we can, we can offer you tips. We can maybe read your email on the air if it has a good question on it.
We pretty much read all the emails on the air. You ever wanted an email read on the air? Send us an email. I'll pretty much read it. I think I read once like a spam email. I mean...
Something about a Nigerian prince and money and everything.
Listen, you know what? Time's going to tell on that one, my friend. When I'm living in Nigeria and I've got a nice old crown that's not a Burger King crown, you're going to eat your words.
No. Anyway, if you do want to send us an email, our address is podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com.
And I want to remind you guys, I do host another podcast. It's on hiatus right now, along with every other podcast dealing with any sort of television show. But it deals with TV show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. The name of the podcast is Legends TV Talk, but we are putting some content out over the summer and over the hiatus. Basically, we're playing Minecraft. It's called Flashcraft. We're building DC Universe stuff in Minecraft in survival mode, and I lost everything today. I was elytraing to where we're going to put the Legion of Doom, and apparently all of a sudden a mountain showed up in front of me out of nowhere because I glitched. So lost everything. I'm very, very pissed. So yeah, that was on Flashcraft. We're building the Legion of Doom next. We got a Hall of Justice. I, of course, built the best base ever because it's DC Universe. So, of course, I built the X Mansion. So nerd. Yeah. Oh, total. Absolutely. So look up Legends TV Talk on Facebook. You can find Flashcraft there. You can also find it on my pages. But with that being said, that's our show. So we want to thank you guys for listening tonight, for hanging out with us. We'll be back next Monday night at 8 o'clock. We also want to remind you, you know what? That's a very good point here. Yeah, wait, we can't go to the end yet. Wednesday night, Commander Craft. We need to put that in the notes.
How could you forget that?
It's not in the notes, man. I spent 20 minutes pulling the notes up. All right, so Wednesday night, we do some ancillary content. We play Commander in paper using Zoom and the powers of the interwebs. There's always four of us, at least. It's me, Aramis, and two of our patrons. It's Anthony and Steve, and they, we play together a lot. We have a rotating 5th and 6th chair occasionally, so we'd love to have you guys come alongside us. Just send us an email, podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com, or show up in our Discord. Let us know you like to play Paper Magic and you have a Zoom account, and we'll get you in. It'll be a lot of fun. This week we're just doing regular Commander again. Steve had us help name a deck, so he built a Boros Feather deck, and it's really going to be annoying, and we're just going to gang up on him until he's out, and then he gets pissed and calls us names, and then Anthony will play a enchantment on me that makes me lose everything and go down to 4 life because apparently I have done something horribly wrong, like pissed in this man's Cheerios. But in any event, you want to catch all of this, and Aramis actually won a game, so
I've won 3 times.
I know. So I just want to say, Commander Craft, Wednesday night, it'll be on here around 7:30 Eastern time. So make sure you tune in for that. If you want to play, let us know. But on that note, we want to thank you guys for hanging out and listening with us tonight. We really enjoyed it. We will be back next Monday night with the best of Planestalkers. Hopefully we'll have some previews we can start talking about. And again, Wednesday night's Commander Craft, so tune in then. But for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying As always, we just really appreciate everything you guys do for us and being listeners. We'll see you soon. And remember to always leave some of your mana untapped because you never know when you'll need it. Take care and have a great week. Bye-bye. And I stop recording. And we export.
Is underway.
Yes, I as well am exporting. But now I've learned to export directly to my Mac instead of to Dropbox. Because that made no sense. So let me get this straight. I'm putting it out on the internet to bring it back down to my home computer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was not mine. Yeah. This is episode 71, right?
Yeah, 71. Boros Feather.
Yeah, this is going to be a funnest night ever. Oh, by the way, I'm feeling awfully sick. I think I have a touch of the rheumatiz. So.
A little touch of oil. Where does oil come from? Yeah. It's so strange.
Seriously, though, I seriously think I pissed Anthony off somehow. He's like, oh, I'm going to play this on Will. I'm like, again?
Well, he tried to cast it on me last week, and I swindled it.
Yeah.
I did counter that. I was like, no, you're not casting that on me. That ain't happening.
Well, I think he did that because he realized, because I got kind of salty towards him. I'm like, I quit. Because I did. I had no answer. I'm like,
That's a tough enchantment.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Fuck you. Oh, his deck is not OP. It's just funny. Oh, okay. I like that. So.
That's
oh, Steve sent us his deck list here. Ooh. Okay.
Anthony was saying he cast the captive audience on you because it's funny. Steve is the one saying that his Boros deck isn't overpowered, but he says that all the time, and then he wins by turn 4.
Yeah. It's not overpowered. It's not overpowered. Mana Crypt. Mana Leak. Mana Motherfucker.
Fast Bond Boa.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that's banned in Commander.
So, yeah.
Turn 2. So, okay, sorry, turn 5. Or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, he obviously has the best cards. I'm just there to have fun. So whenever I get to win a game, you better believe I'm going to brag.
I think you absolutely should brag. I was just busting your stones because, it's fun to do.
I'm going to take my win. I mean, like I said, Anthony gift wrapped that to me because he completely forgot what Revel and Riches does.
Yeah.
I'm okay with not reminding people.
Oh, yeah. But believe me, once he was reminded, he's like, Steve, you have to deal with that. And Steve's like, I'm trying.
I may have made a slight error in judgment. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
There might have been a slight miscalculation. So I hope you guys are digging the show. There's a lot of new guys in the Discord, so I really do hope you guys like the show tonight. I'll put up in the Discord about Commander Craft, because if we can get 1 or 2 of them to engage with that, I'd be down with that. So I'm looking forward to this tournament. Like, again, I'm liking that the deck lists are not all,
people are trying stuff.
Cycle. Yeah. Because I was afraid of that. Because honestly, if you say artisan right now, you're like cycling.
Well, I think the thing is, though, too, is that with Historic, it's an expanded card pool. So there's just flat out more options out there. And cycling just might not be the best to do. But maybe it is. Oh, we'll see. That's why they play.
Mono Blue Tempo. There wasn't a lot of rares in that to begin with.
I don't think there were in the original build. I don't
Tempest
think there
Djinn
really
was rare.
Oh, there was Tempest Djinn, yeah. Well,
which was a kind of finisher, but
yeah, I'm sure it could be replaced with something. Don't know what.
Maybe I should have made up a guy. Hello, my name is Porthos Perez. No relation to Aramis. We have a brother, Athos Perez. Yeah, I've been my wife the other day, because I've been the past weekend, like, for some reason I was like high on the Three Musketeers. Like I've always liked their story, so I watched the cheesy Disney one, and then I watched
that one, the one with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
that one wasn't bad.
I watched the later one that they put out like about 5 years ago, and then
I haven't seen that.
Then we watched The Man in the Iron Mask, and that's the one Wendy watched with me, and I will say this: the one thing I like about The Man in the Iron Mask is they didn't try to make it too pretentious. Like, here's the thing: you don't realize it, but Leonardo is not talking with an accent. You're like,
yeah, it's very Americanized.
However, and Gerard Depardieu is talking with his French accent. Jeremy Irons is talking with his German, like whatever the hell his accent is, and John Malkovich not talking with an accent. I'm like,
well, it's John Malkovich. Come on.
I don't. That's just it. Honestly, as far as Three Musketeers movies go, that's one of my favorites. Like, I love that movie.
I thought it was a good movie too.
Oh,
I only just read the book maybe
the books
6 years ago.
The books are so it's almost as bad as Game of Thrones as far as marathon level. Like, it's like, oh my god, how many fucking pages?
I was very engaged when I was reading it.
Yeah, it was. Engaged. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great read. They're great reads. I like big long books like that. But yeah, like I hear Aramis though, and she's like, oh wow. That's. I'm like, yes, dear. His mom got it from the Three Musketeers. She did? Yes, dear.
Most people think it's the cologne for some reason.
No, I would have figured the Three Musketeers, like, you know.
Well, a lot of people are, uneducated heathen too.
Yeah.
So.
Like, but I think she should have named you Porthos. Your personality is far more of a Porthos.
Well, you never know what that's going to be when you're born.
I know, but Aramis is like the devout one, isn't he? He's like he's the priest one.
He's got a bunch of shit going on the side too.
Yeah. Those are
he's not
great.
all he seems to be.
Yes.
I loved it though. It was great. It's a great story.
And then I did some research this past weekend, and I'm like, D'Artagnan existed. I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah, the other three, it's like questionable whether or not they were real. They were based on like maybe multiple real people put together, but like the Musketeers obviously existed.
Right, obviously. And Richelieu existed, which if you don't know who Richelieu is, shame on you. Obviously Charlemagne existed. No, King Louis.
Louis the 16th.
Louis was Charlemagne, right?
No.
It's 13th and 14th, I thought.
Maybe it was 14th.
Yeah, Louis the 14th. Charlemagne was 16, right?
Maybe. I don't remember all my French games.
But that was the thing, is I was like, you know what? They're not trying to do French accents. Like, I ruined Ever After for my wife. It's her favorite movie when she's sick. She loves it. She watches it every time she was sick. Actually, she used to. But we're sitting there one day, and I gleefully, like, I'm always kind of picking on her about it. I'm like, oh, sure, Ever After, whatever. Oh, look, it's Riff Raff from Rocky Horror. And then, blah, blah. And then she's like, don't ruin this movie for me. I'm not going to ruin it for you, I said. But have you ever noticed that they're all talking with British accents, but they're supposed to be in France? And she's like, she literally turns around and she goes, you motherfucker, you have ruined my favorite movie.
Well, I mean, think about this. Jean-Luc Picard's supposed to be French.
Yeah, he was.
And
yeah, but
very British.
Yes, very British. And yet his brother Robert had a French accent.
It was French, yeah.
But no, I was just like, it ruined it. She's like, I can't watch this the same way now. I'm like, honey, at least they're all speaking British accents.
The universal translator was set on British that day.
It was just, oh, she got very upset at me. She was like, why did you do this? I'm like, oh, struck me funny.
Same reason you introduced her to Commander with a Traxa. You are a sadist.
I am. And on that note, we should end our broadcast. So, guys, thank you. Tune in Wednesday night. You got everything up to Dropbox?
Should be, yep.
All right, cool. Well, we'll stop the stream now, and if there's anything you want to say afterward, like that thing about the land, tune in Monday night. It'll be great to talk to you, and tune in Wednesday night for Commander Crafted. You're not going to want to miss it. So take care. If you have deck